Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, I want to talk to you about the girls next door. And if you're like, Jen, what are you talking about? Let me fill you in. There are some times that I just get stuck on a subject, and right now it's Girls Next Door. So in case you don't know, Girls Next Door was a show that aired from about 2005 to 2010, I believe. And the idea being it was kind of an inside look about what really goes on at the Playboy Mansion. Is that what it is? Not necessarily. It was the early days of reality TV, so it definitely felt, I don't know if scripted is the word, but maybe scripted is the word, but who cares? It was like a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I find myself rewatching it again, hence me talking about it, and I kind of wanted to do a deep dive, kind of feel out and see if you guys have watched it, see what your thoughts are. So let me talk about this to begin with. So the show itself, in case you're not aware, it was mostly made up of Hef's girlfriends, Holly Madison, Bridget Marquardt, I hope I'm saying that right, and Kendra Wilkinson. And the reason I say mostly made of is because by the end of the series, spoiler alerts from like 20 years ago, they move on. And I think the last, maybe it was season 6, they featured Crystal, the one that ended up going on to leave Hef at the altar. That's a wild ride. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you definitely need to Google that. But then she ended up coming back and marrying him. But I believe she went on Howard Stern and trashed him first. So much going on there. I need to do a separate video about that. But I really didn't watch that season because, well, I love these girls. I thought it was so much fun. Now, we've come a long way in reality TV, right? So there's so much, I don't know, I feel like there's not as much drama in this show, but what's interesting to me is the behind the scenes drama. What do I mean? Well, I'll tell you. So I remember watching this the first go round back when it came out. Was it on E! Network? No, I can't even remember. It may have been on E! Network. But then I ended up getting the DVDs. Yes, I'm cool. Don't be jealous. Which I still have somewhere. I need to find those. But the DVDs were fun because not only did you get the episodes, you got commentary from the girls about what was going on. And even then, it was still under Hef's thumb, under Hef's rule. I don't know. So you didn't get the full story, but it was kind of painting a picture. Well, since then, Holly Madison and Bridget Marquardt have come out with a podcast. It just started coming out. I'm kind of obsessed with it. It's called Girls Next Level. I'll get into that, but listening to that, they really tell you what was happening behind the scenes, and it kind of made me fall down a rabbit hole again of watching. I've started rewatching the series. And also Holly Madison has, I believe Bridget does too, but I know Holly Madison has a YouTube channel where she reacts to the episodes and kind of fills you in on what's going on. So my favorite thing right now is to watch an episode of Girls Next Door, which you can find on Amazon Prime for free. I don't know if it's everywhere, but here in the States, it's free because you just have to watch ads with it. I think it's through that, what is it called? Freevee? Doesn't matter. You can find it. I would encourage it. It's just kind of a fun watch. If you ever had any interest in what goes on at the mansion, I just find myself enjoying it. Again, I enjoyed it back in the day. I'm enjoying the rewatch, even though it's very dated. I mean, you see a lot of early 2000s references and a lot of low-rise jeans, but it's a lot of fun. The thing that I get a kick out of is I really don't care about Hef per se, but I find it interesting to see inside the mansion. I find it interesting to hear each of the girls' stories. And I don't have anything against Kendra, but she's just not my favorite. But I really like Holly and I really like Bridget, and I like the happiness that they seem to exude, especially Bridget. They have a lot of fun playing dress up and doing these events, and they seem like sweet girls, girls next door. There you go. But I'm enjoying the rewatch. Now, what's interesting is, again, I became completely obsessed. After leaving the mansion, Holly ended up writing 2 books. One was called Down the Rabbit Hole. That was her first one. And the second one, what's it called? It was, Vegas Diaries, because she went on to do, Peep Show And is that what it was? It's based on Little Bo Peep, but it was kind of like a raunchy version in Las Vegas. So she kind of deep dives into all that. But I tell you, I was riveted. The first time I heard Down the Rabbit Hole, I was fascinated because that's where she really started to spill the tea on what was going on at the mansion. And I love it. Again, being such a fan of the show, but then hearing what was really going on behind the scenes, and she tells it all, and it's fascinating. So the show was meant to be like fun and lighthearted, and the story of these three girls who quote unquote love Hef. Let me paint the picture there. Hef was like 80 years old. I think they celebrated his 80th birthday during the series. It may have been season 2. Sick, I know that, I know. But, and, gosh, if I had to guess their ages, Holly was maybe like 26, 27. I believe Bridget was around the same age. Kendra, I remember, was not allowed to drink because she was not yet 21. She turned 21 in the house. I think she moved in just after turning 19. They went to Europe. She was excited because she would be able to drink, which was not something she could do regularly. Yikes. Okay, so honestly, I like it for the light, funny nature of it. There are some dark stuff. There's some dark stuff involved with this. And what I mean is, again, you don't see that on the show The Girls Next Door. It more focuses on happy, fun, lovey. Like, look, they're all so happy to be here. But then in Holly's book, she kind of lets it spill about Hef and all the drama going on there. Who would have known, right? That Hef even admitted that he loved the drama, and he would often be the center of the drama, which the girls didn't realize at the time. Things like they had a curfew. They all had to be in the house by 9 p.m. Weird, right? Like, no exceptions. She would beg Hef to be able to spend the night out sometimes if they would go to, like, Las Vegas, but he wouldn't allow it. So she'd have to fly back and be home by 9 o'clock. And if the plane was delayed, she'd have to call him, like you'd call your parents, and say, you know, I'm going to be a little past curfew. They had a weekly allowance. Yes, you heard me right. He would give the girls money for clothes because they would go out so much and they had these appearances to do and stuff. It was $1,000 a week, and they talk about, I can't remember if it was in the podcast they talk about it or in the book, but I believe it was in the podcast. Bridget said something like, he could have just stuck it in our mailboxes, but instead you were supposed to go to him and ask him for your allowance. Isn't that odd? That just strikes me so weird. Again, just thinking about the dynamic. When I watched it, you know, I'm actually about, I think I'm the same age as Holly Madison. When I watched it when I was in my early 20s, I was like, oh, this looks so fun and kind of glamorous. And the idea, living in the mansion and going to these big parties and having your hair and makeup done and getting all glammed up and stuff was fascinating to me. But to fall down the rabbit hole, if you will, and to learn the truth about all the drama behind the scenes is just absolutely fascinating. So this podcast has renewed my interest. Again, the podcast I'm talking about that Bridget and Holly do has completely renewed my interest in this show. I definitely recommend, if you ever even had a passing interest in either Playboy or in the Girls Next Door show, that you check that out. That's, again, the podcast is called Girls Next Level, and believe me, they have no idea who I am. I'm not like promoting it for them. I'm just telling you, I'm kind of obsessed. I've actually listened to some of the episodes on repeat. They have like 5 episodes, I believe, out now, and I really am enjoying the heck out of it. So much interesting stuff to find out, including some of the drama with Kendra. And I'm going to be careful here. I'm not the hugest Kendra fan. She was okay in the show. I understood her purpose, if you will, that she was supposed to be the young, sporty one, a little different than the girly girls of Holly and Bridget. But I find it fascinating. They kind of, in the last episode, deep dove into some of the discrepancies, if you will, that she had in her book versus their experiences there at the mansion. So definitely check that out, even if you have a passing interest. I think this topic is hot right now. I know Heather McDonald had them on their podcast. Again, with Holly, I know Holly's channel is doing well. It's Holly Madison channel. If you search that, you'll be able to find her. And I just think she is so gorgeous, by the way. I find myself staring at her when she talks. She looks like Alice in Wonderland to me. I just think she's so beautiful, and I enjoy her videos. There's not a lot to them, and that's kind of what I love. She shows things like her makeup routine, or she'll just sit on her bed and watch Girls Next Door and kind of react. But it's interesting because she doesn't hold back. She tells exactly what really happened behind the scenes, that like the producers would be feeding her certain lines about how bad she wanted to marry Hef, but that wasn't actually the case. And I find it also interesting, so I'm kind of obsessed. So I just wanted to share my obsession with you. And yeah, let me know if you end up checking it out, or if this is something you're interested in. I would love to talk about some of the episodes. That gets tricky because there is nudity in the show, so obviously I can't show that on YouTube, but I could do some still pictures and just talk about it if you want to. Let me know in the comments below. Is this a show that you used to watch? Have you listened to the podcast? Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Am I talking to myself? Let me know in the comments. If you want to check out that Down the Rabbit Hole book, do check it out on Audible. I have a promotion right now with Audible. You can use this code I'm going to flash here on the screen. Yes, you have to type it all out, but it links you directly to me. I appreciate all that have done it so far. I believe they're doing a promotion where you get a free audiobook. So check that out if that's something you're interested in. You don't have to commit or sign up for any. You can cancel anytime, basically. But it's free for the first month, and you may get a discount in the second month. That I'm not sure, but check it out. Use my code if you're so inclined. Get that book. I keep talking about also get the audiobook by Tom Bauer. That's that revenge book about Meghan Markle. Whew, I'm obsessed. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. Again, thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you were into the show. I'd love to have a dialogue about that. Thanks so much. And if you want to check out more of my videos, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Take care. Bye-bye.